So welcome to another exploration into consciousness with the Earth Nouveau Hub. So good to have you here as every Wednesday. And our topic today is retirement. Now, if anyone is slightly confused about that energy, this has come to me through conversations that talking about retirement, talking about people's experiences with retirement, and then also being I've been told that I've retired. And it's so interesting because it's an energy that I've never looked at retirement. I don't necessarily understand it, and I was quite intrigued when it was brought forward to me that I came across as being retired. So I thought, you know what, let's look at this. Let's look at what retirement actually is, and how can we play with the word, what's in that word retirement, which is obviously, tired. What are we tired of, right? Retirement and all those good things. So there's lots of stuff we can play with. I think this is a big thing, because also I think it's one of those maybe very defined energies in this reality. I don't know what your experience is with knowing people who have retired, have worked all their lives and waited for retirement. And then, of course, there's obviously the situation where people do go into retirement and all of a sudden their entire purpose has disappeared. They don't know what to do with themselves anymore, right? Because they come out of that structure, and I wouldn't say it's almost like the purpose has disappeared, right? So I'm gonna put forward in that Zoom today that if you haven't retired yet, it is time now. So what does retirement mean to you? Let's go first before we look at what you're actually tired of, because that's one. That's we can talk about the whole hour. But what does actually mean when you hear the word retirement? What comes up for you? What does it actually mean? And we had one of the Julie Smith said in the when I posted it today, said playing out and living without limitation. So that's what retirement means to her. And they bought a motorhome, and they are now traveling the world with their motorhome. Jubilation. Cara said jubilation, right? That's what it means in your language, isn't it? In Spanish, yeah, Portuguese.
Yes, jubilation, rejoicing, celebration.
Yeah. Wisdom. Shoba says wisdom. What else comes up? For me, it means not. Patuta is saying no more rushing. Time for me and my hobbies. Mm-hmm. Stop working a job, have freedom to do what I want. Alfredo. Well, when I hear these things, I'm quite pleased that somebody said to me that I was retired, because I can do all these things now, right? And that, of course, is the whole idea of this exploration. If we get out of this perceived box of what retirement actually is, and that we need to get into it, then we can actually retire. Everyone can retire right now, and we can have fun, and we can have the wisdom and the hobbies and the jubilation and the living without the limitations. And we can even have a job, right? Let's call it a job. Let's call it a career. Let's call it an inspirational creativity, whatever you want to call it, where you're actually having fun. So what is that? Topic of this conversation is, what is that we are trying to put ourselves through that isn't really required, right? And I'm talking about us as consciousness explorers. I'm not talking about, the percentage of people that do not recognize yet that they have a choice. Yeah. And I'm not even saying that, when I was in the oil industry, I got out in 2008. I didn't consider myself that I retired then, because I never had an issue working in the corporate arena. I never had a problem working 9 to 5. I enjoyed it. It wasn't for me, getting out and doing my own thing wasn't that I felt like I left all of that behind. I suppose if I get a job offer today that interests me, that inspires me, I'll be quite happy to go back into it and see what it's like. I've never had a point of view about having a job. To be honest, it was quite nice. There was a consistency. I enjoyed what I was doing. I was connecting with people. I had my monthly pay slip. I didn't have to worry how many clients I had or not. There was a lot of positive stuff around that. How is it for you guys? Unmute yourself and talk to me.
This is the time. Yes, the timing of this is just incredible. 3 days before Martina suggested this topic, I signed up for a retirement plan. So I'm retiring at age 57 as of 3 days from today. And another interesting thing is that I was, prior to signing up for this plan, my family was insisting that I needed to do this because it's a responsible thing to do, right? And I couldn't brought myself to sign up the papers. And it was only when I asked myself, how do I see myself now and how do I see myself at age 57, that I was able to sign the papers. It had meaning to me. And then another thing I wanted to share with you is that in Spanish, when you pass away, die, se retira. So the word retirement is to be liberated from your body. And today, my uncle passed away. So I thought, what the timing of this? A week ago, I was signing the papers. Then today, my uncle is no longer in his body. It's just incredible.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so I am thinking about cycles and beginning and ending.
Exactly, beginning and ending cycles. Now, I've looked up the word in the and you just said it actually in your own language. In mid-16th century, retire is from the mid-16th century. And this was first used in the sense of withdrawal, just like what you've said, withdrawal from the body, withdrawal from a place of safety or seclusion. To a place of safety or seclusion. Yeah. So basically, when we look at, we're talking about the inner journey. Aren't we always retiring from what's going on in the outside world, from our environment, be it another job, the families, the friends and everything, the whole hoo-ha around there? And withdraw into seclusion to go onto our inner journey. So when we look at retirement from that perspective and withdrawing into something, that is different to this, to what the society. Why is it so quiet? It's so quiet. I can't hear you guys. Just unmute yourself, please. Drives me crazy. It's so quiet.
You're gonna hear the sellers. There's people selling on the street, so you might hear a lot of noise on my end.
That's fine.
My kids are really loud for Martina.
I'm sitting in a vacuum here. It's like, what's going on myself? Unless we have to take the back. Talking about that, retiring, withdrawing. So from that perspective, And also the thing is, lots of people have this issue with retiring, when they get obviously to a certain age, like what you said, and hey, I have to respond that. Alfredo said you're probably the youngest, best looking 57 we've ever met. Sarah? You say you.
Say that again, Martina.
What did you? Hold on, Alfredo. You are the youngest 57-year-old I've ever seen.
Oh, I am 40.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I will rejoice at age 57.
Okay, so you basically put a pension plan together. That's for you. Okay. Yeah. There was something fishy about. I thought, what is she eating? What is she eating? Yeah.
I'm hearing a background noise. That's making it hard to hear. Is anybody else?
Might be Caro, yeah. Caro.
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah, now.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's all good.
As you were saying that, I was thinking every time you stop doing something, it's like retiring from that thing, isn't it? As you were speaking, I was thinking about that.
Absolutely.
And I was thinking of something funny while you were talking too, is that according to the Bible history, God retired on the seventh day, if you want to look at it that way. He worked for 6 days and then he retired on the seventh.
And retiring is part of that surrender, right? Allowing ourselves to surrender, to withdraw. And that doesn't mean that we have to become an urban hermit or something and never come out and never talk to anyone again, but taking, I think, looking at retirement from a different perspective takes away a lot of pressure that lots of people finding themselves under. And as I said before, I don't even understand the energy of retirement. I will never retire in the sense of what, how it is perceived. I'll never go, it's like the stories people tell you about the watch. They get a watch and then all of a sudden, after 60 years or something, then they realize that they've messed up their entire life and they missed out on stuff. And there's the resentment and there's the, what's the word when they feel like resentful that they haven't, they've lost out on stuff, and then they start grieving and all of that. None of that is actually necessary. When we're just like what Lana said, we are retiring. Every time we go to bed, we retire, right? So, and I had to start looking at that because the way it was projected, the way it was said was like, oh, you retired. And I'm like, why do I feel weird about this? Isn't that normal? Aren't we all retired? Aren't we all of us on that journey? Aren't we all retired? And does that mean that we're not doing anything? No, it means that we actually start doing things that we are enjoying, right? And I think part of that retirement or withdrawal is the fact that we are allowing ourselves to do less, right? To do less and to be more. As a Bowen therapist, I remember the first thing we learned was less is best. The Bowen application is you do less moves because it's better for the body to allow the body to get back to its blueprint by not confusing, the central nervous system and everything like that.
Less is like keeping it simple, isn't it?
Yeah, keeping it simple.
Yeah.
Isn't that for me? And I think this is why I brought it up, because for me, the most difficult thing, everything I've been working on in my life, in this life so far, was allowing myself to understand that less is best and to do less and be more. Because I come from this place of do. You only do when you, in order to show that who you are and to define yourself as something and to, and all of that. But is that really the case? Can we do less and be more? Can we retire? Can we all retire now? If I said, can we all retire now? What does that bring up for you guys? Or are you with me?
To me, you can never really retire. It's just I guess an earthly word that we use, isn't it?
But it's very loaded
Yeah.
word for lots of people. Now, there are
Yeah.
people that die. They die after they retire.
It's like a word that the system uses against humanity.
Yeah.
It's like a death sentence.
I like that, Lana.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like a death sentence, yes. And it's interesting because, Caro, you brought it up. It's like pension plans, retirement plans. What is that all about? It's all about safety and security, and it's about, you know, when you get to a certain age, whatever that is, 57, 62, I don't even know, you have to have some money in place, because otherwise you will be rendered useless. After that age, you can't, what is this bullshit, right? Supposedly we could be, you know, getting 300 years old. But now we're being indoctrinated, you know, like, oh, no, you're getting to a certain age, you're over 50 now, so you got your pension plan set up. It's like, what?
It's like telling you
Might
the universe. It's like telling you the universe is not working with you. The universe is working against you. So you have to save up. You have to put retirement away for when you reach a certain age. And so this is what the system is using against us. The system is saying to you, put this away, because when you get old, you got nothing to keep you going. But that's not true.
Yeah.
Because when we dig deeper, we find out that that's all fake. It's all crap.
It's kind of like this pipe dream that's like, oh, when you work so hard and you do this, you'll finally get that moment of peace and do it. You put it out there like it's like you were saying, Lana, I like that. You kind of put what I wanted to say into words.
Yeah. And then once you've retired, you've earned the right to have some fun, right? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Best thing to do is get through the birth canal, snip it off, that thing, whenever, you know, keep it on as long as you can. The what's it called? Umbilical cord, and retire right there and then. And actually just have some fun, right? Come in there, have some fun, be joyous, and don't buy into any of that crap. It's bad enough that, you know, and look, it's a logical, normal thing. We start off with lack of security because this is what we have to learn. We have to get ourselves, you know, through the chakras. But at the level of retirement, you should have reached, or you probably have or not reached a certain level of connection where you do not have to fall back onto this security thing, you know, and if I don't have certain, you know, money set away, you know, then I will die, like Shilpa says, it's a death sentence. The question is, can you have so much fun in your life and so much joy and happiness and actually create whatever it takes for you to feel safe and secure? Nobody says don't have any money. Yeah, nothing wrong with having money. Yes, or other types of safety, you know, mechanisms, whatever that is. Be with somebody who does have the money, whatever that is. But it's that whole idiocy, and you know, we have, I'll tell you what, in the UK we have these ads continuously running. It's either have you taken out a loan, or have you secured the money for your funeral? As soon as you reach the age of 50, make sure that your loved ones are all set and that you have enough money to pay for your own funeral, and obviously retirement, and this, it's incredible. I'm like, what is this?
How about the one here that they advertise, Credit Karma? What is Credit Karma? Why did they even name it Credit Karma?
What is that? Tell us about that. I don't know. That's so fun.
That's the question. What the hell is Credit Karma? Why are you advertising Credit Karma?
Is this like when you have enough money on your credit card and the more money you have, the better the karma, the less you're that, or what? What is it?
I really don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Oh, that's
It's
fine.
something to do with credit. It's probably something to do with your credit score or something, But it's funny how they play on words, credit karma. Like, what the
Yeah,
heck is credit karma? Why are you using those words?
They should
They're
run
trying to psych us out,
revocation. They should run the revocation for the banking system right under there in fine print.
Yeah, scroll it along the bottom, right? So people can read along on the fine print and
Now that's
cancel
karma.
out the credit karma.
On the other hand, I give them credit for thinking smartly and getting onto the awakening wagon, right? Using the right words.
Exactly.
Not a stupid
That's
thing
what I
to
was
do.
thinking.
Oh, that must be a good
Yeah.
thing because it's got karma in it. Not even knowing what karma is, most of the people, right?
They're probably helping us clear out our karma, with the system,
Absolutely. Everything has its place. Everything has value, to be honest, right? Okay, cool. So let's play with this. We are withdrawing. The idea of what retire actually means. Retire into seclusion, retire into joy, into happiness, into whatever we want to call it, right? So what are we withdrawing from? Let's just we all know the concept. This is basically what we're playing with. So we're not going to go on about, what the narrative talks about. We actually look at it when we look at retirement, when we look at retiring, on a daily basis before we go to bed. What are we actually withdrawing from? Let's give it a couple of names. Let's give it something, give it some context. What is it that is a good thing to retire from?
The struggle, the burden, the struggle. When you proposed this topic, it occurred to me to connect with my grandmothers on my mother's side. Perhaps you're familiar with a celebration called Day of the Dead. So I know the names and the birthdays, and I have photos for 7 grandmothers on my mom's side. That's a lot of women. So I asked them, I sat down and I asked them, what do you have to tell me about retirement? And what I got was the burden. You don't have to carry that. The struggle, you don't have to carry that. And I thought, wow, as I was sitting there, I am my ancestor's wildest dream.
Yes,
this is the new energy. They've been waiting for this for so long. And they are also bearing a lot of children, 10, 12, 15 children. Not because they really wanted to, it was just kind of expected. Lots of pain in the nipples. That's what I got.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What does Andrew often say? It takes, get off the nipple, or get off the nipple and get them off our nipples, right? Male or female. We all have nipples, right? There must be a reason for that. So let's get them all off our nipples. Let's retire the burden of our ancestors. That's so beautiful you asked that question. I love that. And it's true, we are the facilitator, for our lineage, right? That is that responsibility that we often talk about. If different to them, we are healing the whole lineage all the way back and forward, right? Fantastic. What else? What else is there that we can withdraw from that we haven't probably considered yet? And we can do it right now. We don't have to wait until we're 60 or 57 or whatever. Because in order to yeah, go ahead.
I think in a way not accepting all those limitations, because what's in this little village here, that people when they retire at 65, they're so ecstatically happy. And it's when they're at their richest, this wisdom in a person is just really starting to come out. And then it's like, boom, retirement, you're shut down, they disappear. And you see them a year later and it's like, oh dear, I fully intend to not retire. just keep engaging with life because it just gets richer and richer and richer. But what I see is that there's somehow some kind of taboo to see older people fully engaging in life and fully enjoying life and celebrating it and laughing. It's somehow, I'm in a Spanish village, and it's somehow like act your age, you know? And it's like, fuck that, I'm not going to be doing any of that. But it's to break through a lot of society's taboos, especially somewhere that's very small. It can be a challenge, but hey ho, it's having listened to Andrew for a while now, it's like, who made those limitations? I don't want to accept them anymore. That's it.
Absolutely. Alfredo just said retiring. He's going to retire from the perception of retirement.
Yeah.
Love it. And you know what? It's so interesting from a healing perspective. It's like instead of just by taking out the box, this is not even a peeling of the onion where you have to take the layers down. You just take the whole bloody onion and throw it out.
Fuck it out. Yeah.
Chuck out the onion. There's no peeling, right? And then see what happens. What else is there?
I think it's also like a generational way of thinking, because I find like, my parents are in their 80s now and have been retired, right, for a number of years, and they were very concerned when I left my corporate job, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do for retirement? I think that a lot of my husband's friends are turning in their 60s now and starting to retire from like city jobs, government jobs where they have a good pension. But I don't really see some of the younger generation I work with getting that or even thinking about it, right? I mean, unless you go into kind of like a corporate job where you're having a 401k, or a city job where you're having long-term like pensions or education, you get a pension also. But I don't, a lot of this younger generation, they're just not thinking that way, and not young startup companies aren't performing that way either anymore. So
Exactly.
kind of an interesting shift in thinking, shift in consciousness.
It's going to bring about an interesting and an entire change of looking at the money, of the Babylonian money system as well, right? Because retirement itself is still very much the old paradigm linked to the money system as a way, and very much to safety. Without money, you're nothing. You have nothing, and that is not the case. That is absolutely not the case, because that is actually infringing on who you intrinsically are. It does make it. Is it easier to have funds in order to do certain things? Absolutely, yes. But it doesn't mean that you are nothing and that you can't be happy without it. And I think that is the main thing to realize, because if and this is why retirement is actually, as we've seen, if you buy into it, because it has a complete impact on how you perceive yourself and how you money is one of those things that if you can receive, if you are open enough and knowing of who you are, and you have no huge conditioning and closed off and all of that, and you can receive everything in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the sad, you will always be able to make money. The one thing I remember, I come from a background that was, I have to call it poor, but actually I never considered it. Yeah, I mean, we the first couple of years when I was a young child, we had the toilet outside. not in the house. We had a bath outside where we had to heat up the wood in order to get the kettle going with the water and everything. But we didn't have a poverty consciousness. There was no such thing. I never felt, my parents never talked about money as such. They were really, really hard worker. And, as the time went on, they built their own house and everything. But what I'm saying is that whatever I did when I started, I started making little jewelry, and things like that, and arty stuff. And I always sold everything that I enjoyed. I sold not because I wanted to make the money, which was nice, obviously, but it was because I wanted to be in service. I wanted to share it with others, and they enjoyed it. So, and that continued all my life. So everything I have done, not everything. My first job was, I was an accountant, and I didn't enjoy that, to be honest. In the very beginning, I had to get out. I was thrown out the house, and I had to go and make money. That was my first time I really had to go for the money. Having said that, it again turned into just something I was doing, and I was enjoying doing it, So there's so many, everything that you do, you can monetize. Okay, yes. But anyway, we're not talking about money, so we're talking about retirement, right? So what else is there that we can retire from right now?
The system of deception that makes us think that the paper money is something. And when I think about how everything comes from Gaia, and I put both of my knees on the ground, and I am fully in her magnetism, that's when I'm complete. Because Gaia is my mother. And she provides everything for me. So I retire from the idea that the system of deception exists.
Fantastic. And you can do this on a daily basis, right? So there's a tool. We talk about doing it. So how do we do it? I mean, it's very simple. It's just put our intention and attention and intention onto it. So there's one of the access tools I remember was before you go to bed, and it's very, very similar to Andrew's revocations, but you don't have to do the entire revocation. You can just say before you go to bed, you destroy and uncreate, or you eliminate, or you let go, or you cancel all the contracts that you have with the narrative, with your business, with your partner, with your kids, with everything, with your body, with everything. Cancel everything out. And what you do is you clear the energy by doing that. And then you go to bed, and in the morning you wake up and you start anew. Everything starts from the very next day. Here I am. Okay, I'm still here. Great. Let's see, what can we create together today? So I've retired during the night. Obviously not really retired because we're very busy, whatever we're doing in our dream space, but let's leave that to the side. And then now I'm back here again. And now I am engaging again. Okay. So what is the opposite of retiring? Engaging. When you retire. Can you guys hear me? I have internet connections unstable. Are you good? Can you hear me?
Can you just repeat what you said?
So even if you don't, what did I say? Yes.
Engagement.
So the opposite of retirement, I looked at, yes, what is the opposite of retirement? It's engagement, right? Engaging with life. So even if we are retired, we're still engaging with life. But if we take out retirement as a whole onion, then let's engage with life. So how do we engage with life? It's a good thing to say, let's just say, yeah, we're engaging with life, but actually let's put it into context. How can we engage with life more so that we can really enjoy the retirement every time we retire and go to bed and withdraw? Because that's the thing, you've got to withdraw, engage to get the balance, the equanimity going.
But when you're living in the moment, you're actually engaging with life. Yes?
Sure, yeah.
You got to be in your body to be engaging with life. Otherwise, only half of you is really there. And then you're not fully in your body to engage with life.
Yes. So let's put it into context. What does engaging with life mean? How do you engage with life when you are? So let's say, for instance, I've been called. For me, I was told I was retired. So I don't understand the energy. So how do I engage with life? Yes, I don't do the yoga sessions I used to do. I don't do the therapy sessions I used to do. I spend a lot of time with myself, creating new things, looking at things. I'm just working on another book, or I read, I look at stuff, I go for walks. I engage all the time. It is not looking, it's probably not seen. I write on Facebook, I write on the various platforms. It's probably not necessarily in everybody's face, but there's still this engagement. Now the question is, Lana, just 1 second. The question is, does that engagement, whatever you engage in, bring you joy?
But what I'm taking a perfect example for your question there is what you're doing right now with us here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's the most perfect example of engaging with life, because you're doing something that makes you happy. And we're doing something with you that makes us happy. And that's why we're here. So we're all engaging with life and in life. And this is something that is shared with whomever is going to listen to the YouTube later on.
Exactly. So it's about creating experiences, right? Now, very often people look and say, well, you know, it's the same room every time, every Wednesday. Yes, and right? It's not the change of environment continuously that creates the experience. We know that from our dream time. We sleep in the same bloody bed every night, but we go to all these different places.
Well, I dreamt you last night.
Yeah. What did we do?
You didn't really do anything. I saw you. You were in my childhood home.
I was not retired. Yeah.
You were sitting. You were sitting in a chair. And my perception, I didn't have any verbal interaction with you, and I sort of remember like there was a television there, and I was thinking to myself, how can she have a better view of the television from where she's sitting? So I was trying to make you, in my mind, more comfortable. But I think Andrew was also in the dream before I saw you, and he was. This is a perfect example of retirement. We had a conversation. We were in conversation, and I don't know what the conversation was about. It was just, I guess, an ordinary, normal conversation. And he actually laid on the couch. There was a couch there, and he laid on the couch and kind of fell asleep or went into rest. So I could say he retired. And then I saw you, and that was what the dream was really about.
Lana, you crack me up. You know why? Because he's the one. No, do you know why? Because he's the one telling me that I'm retired. It's giving me shit that I'm retired because I'm lying on my couch. He's the one.
I saw him.
Like in your dream. I get it.
Yeah, because we were talking, and I don't know what, it was just meaningless conversation, and then he went to sleep, there, and then I saw you sitting in the other chair, and I was trying to make sense of all of it, I guess.
Well, we caught him out. He was projecting onto me. I'm the one retired. Oh, really? You're the one
And
on the
I was the neutral observer.
exactly.
Saw him.
That's fucking hilarious.
I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. But you know, I'm so
He got caught. He got caught.
But I'm so grateful he said that to me, because you know, he gave us a nice little topic for today. So I thought, you know, let's look at this retirement. What does that actually mean, right? Fantastic. That is too funny, Lana.
Yeah.
It's exactly because I sit on my couch a lot, right? Because I read and I do this and that. So, are you retired? What does that even mean?
You were probably sitting there watching him lying on the couch, falling asleep, retiring.
Exactly. Too good. Too good. I'm loving this.
Maybe
Thank you for sharing that.
I tuned into both of you. That's why I had that dream.
Yeah. Oh God.
You're gonna have to tell him about that.
So
Martina, you mentioned engagement earlier, and I was thinking one way that I am engaging more with myself is finding pleasure within my body, and also pleasure that I have forgotten, perhaps I felt earlier on in my life. So finding all ways of joy and pleasure in the body to be present.
Give us a couple of ideas here, because you know we are here obviously to explore and share some stuff. Have some fun with your body, pleasures with
for example, right now when we started the conversation, I noticed that my eyes were feeling a little dry, and I thought, can I release the tension? Can I enjoy the blinking and the way that my eyes are lubricated, and I don't have to touch them, I don't have to put excessive force into it. My eyes are already lubricated, and they might feel a little dry, and as I was hearing you, I started feeling pleasure in my eyes. I went from dryness, burden, to pleasure.
So that's basically what you're saying, is that's pure intention. That's focus, observation, intention, change. Fantastic. What I do with I work a lot with my body at the moment as well. From when I started the yoga, again, as I always do, I did it because I knew that I needed to get my body moving, and at the same time I wanted to share it. So I did a lot of the yoga for others as a teacher, which I enjoy. In the last couple of months, I've started to say to myself, hang on a second, this is now just for you. Just for you, just for fun, not to tell anyone. You're not teaching it, you're doing it for yourself. And I had to really practice that, to do that for myself. And what I've realized is that I prefer Kundalini Yoga. It's almost like HID. It's like high intense training. It's like a circuit training, the Kundalini, because you're using everything. You're using the breath, the mantra, the body. You sweat your ass off just, doing it for 10, 15 minutes to start off with. Just the warm up. So what and this is the interesting thing, because of that, what I've started realizing is that the way I heal as a healer, I've always looked into more being rather than doing, and that it started very little, and I was therapists, so like going into it and full of oil and this and that, and with Bowen it's like chuck, sit down. Chuck,
Martina,
sit down.
you broke up.
What
you
is
broke
that?
Up.
But I had to do that.
We didn't hear anything you said.
When did I break up? Let me just open the door.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Just open the door here. So what did you hear? Did you hear about the Bowen?
No. If you can hear us, we can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. Let me get you on that one. Hold on. That's a bit weird.
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, onto the phone here. Is that better now?
Yes.
Yes, can you hear me now? Okay. Don't know. Maybe it's just a. Okay, so what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. I was talking about Bowen doing less, compared to a massage therapist and everything. Yes. Okay. Going back to me doing the Kundalini. Did you hear that? That I'm doing more Kundalini work for myself now rather than teaching it.
Yes. Start from there. Whatever you said after that.
Yeah.
We didn't hear you.
So, the choice that I've made, instead of teaching yoga, I've just really eliminated. I've closed the studio. I do a little bit on Skype, but just for a few people, and the rest actually I'm doing for myself. And I'm trying to discipline myself for daily practice, and I'm choosing Kundalini Yoga because it is really employing everything with a mantra, with the physical. It's like a high intensity training for however long you do the physical before you go into the breathing exercises. So what I'm saying with that is the doing less again, but I have started engaging, yes. So I have started actively working with my DNA technology. Because when you do Kundalini exercise, breathing and all of that together, you're really, really working with all the chakras most of the time. And you can, through the vibration, you can start feeling yourself vibrating. It's like the nadis open, the meridians open. And it's almost like that as a healer, I now use that often to do distance healing. Or when I had my friend, the support I did for her was mostly me doing that, activating my DNA technology, and then dedicating, just like what we did in that one session we did together, dedicating that energy for the healing of that particular person or for whatever I want to work with. That's my kind of engagement with the body, following up with what Kara was saying. What do you engage with at the moment to get out of limitation and and all of that?
I'm going to try something new tonight, probably, from the last Tuesday show with Andrews Collin, which found magic. He said to one of the guys to go in the ocean, and when the waves resist. You have to stand on the sand, and you resist the wave, and then you give in to the wave, and to practice that so that you get to know when energy is coming at you and when it's not, and you're giving out. And I thought it was a marvelous thing to do because I'm close to the ocean. So tonight, that's what I'm going to go and play with, just to feel being in that agua marine. And if maybe it's calm tonight, I don't know, but if there are waves, to really start playing in it. And I thought, wow, when I heard this, that is magical, because to stand firm when a wave's coming, and I'll be up to probably to my neck or something, and then to go with it. And I couldn't imagine more joy. So let's see how it goes.
Absolutely fabulous. Let us know next time how it did go. It's so much fun to take your body with you on the journey, isn't it? To engage and really make, it's not just it's not just engaging, it's actually bringing the potency through, because so much of the potency is in the skin suit. Remember how he often says, I mean, I do remember, obviously, because of the walk-in, when he did say to me at the time that it was the skin suit that needed elimination. That's why the detection was to eliminate the skin suit, not the soul that was in there. It was the skin suit from your lineage. So there's so much potency by using our bodies. Obviously, that sexualness, yeah, which has nothing to do with copulation. That sexualness energy that can procreate, can create another individual, but there's so much more we can create with by using our bodies. Now, do we need to retire from the norm in order to have that extraordinary experience that we call magic, that is innately our birthright?
I mean, I think that's a moment to moment choice, but there has to be awareness of it. You know, if you're so caught up in, running on that hamster wheel, going to work and coming home and going to work and coming home, right? You maybe forget that you can engage with different things in different ways.
So absolutely. So the withdrawal, the daily withdrawal from that rat race gives you the gift of time. We always say time is an illusion, but actually, let's look at the gift of time, living in the space-time reality. The gift of time. So we don't have to wait until we're 57 or 60 or whatever it is in our countries to retire in order to have the gift of time. It's a choice. It's a daily choice that we have to make. It's a moment to moment choice. So what does the gift of time give you? Apart from using the bodies.
I was thinking, as you were saying, the gift of time, I was thinking the gift of illusion. We're blessed to have the gift of illusion, to know the difference between illusion and the real.
Yes, and
because we're living in the illusion of the system that created an illusion for us to live with and in until we retire from that illusion. And by the time we retire from the illusion, we understand what the illusion is.
so yes, the illusion is still something very palpable, very, we can, the joy, the magic, the touch, all the senses, it's all illusionary, but it's almost no point at times to call it that, because it feels real, right? Because we have this body and this is what we're here for. We are here to give expression to the illusion, just like you say, everything is an illusion, but we're giving it through our bodies and giving it an experience, we're giving it an expression. I like to look at it, because you mentioned that illusion. The nice thing to look at it is, like, we always think we need to go and do stuff to create. So for instance, I looked at that one example once. When you're in the car, think of yourself, you're driving, right? And you have the perception that you're going from, obviously you go from your house to the supermarket, right? So there is movement, the illusion of movement. And yes, it's an experience and everything. But at the end of the day, are you really moving? You're sitting in this car. What if you could just play with that, talking about the illusion? What if the road is actually coming through you, through the car, through you? Just look at the energetic.
That's interesting.
Look at the energetics, because you think, oh God, I gotta go there. I have to get there. I have to get there, right? It's like stress, this, I'm late. But if you just turn it around in your head and perceive everything coming through you, you are creating it by just you being there. If you're not there, there is no car, there is no supermarket, there is no journey.
Yeah.
Literally.
You're like saying that you're like in a point of space-time where you're just anchored in that hub of interconnectivity, and everything is passing through you. So as they're passing through, you're experiencing the experience within the illusion, and from the illusion we're getting all these experiences that we create memories from, that
Mhm.
become a part of our DNA like bodies. Yeah.
Mhm. So we've got
I see what you're
Alfredo's
saying.
driving, right? You're driving, Alfredo.
He's not really
Unfortunately, yeah.
No,
I
no,
really wish I was,
perfection,
but I
perfection.
want to be here. I want to be engaged with you.
No, but give us just do us a favor and think and feel what it's like. Everything, the roads coming through you, the houses, the trees, everything is coming through you. How does that feel?
I feel a
Rather,
lot more lighter just thinking about that.
yeah, yeah. And you become expansive. You actually get to that level that you truly are. Because we're so small in this little body and big body, little fat body, skinny body, whatever. No, you are that vastness, right? Everything is coming through you. It's a totally different way of creating. Think of creations. You don't have to run after anything. It's almost like it's all going to come through you just by playing with that and withdrawing into that, withdrawing from how other people perceive or work with that rat race, like Tanya mentioned. From that withdrawn place, you can engage. It's not that you become a hermit. You can engage on a completely different level, on a much bigger and more expansive level.
So we're always in retirement because we're there. Like Alfredo, he's sitting in his vehicle there, and he's retired in that spot there, and everything is just passing through Alfredo,
Yeah, how
and
cool is that?
he's receiving the experience on the moment.
Yeah, and how exciting! He can perceive
Yeah.
everything. Everything is there, right? He doesn't have to go
Yeah.
anywhere. Just going through him. It's
I
an
was,
yeah.
oh, I was gonna say, like, just a few days ago, like I've been so over like burned out, like from being a parent, working, whatever. I was like, man, I'm just gonna retire from this fucking like these patterns, and just I went out and got a massage, and then I went out to this like park, and it's called the Greenbelt, but it's got like running water from the rain. I was like sat out there after the massage and just like retired from what's in front of me, and just like let the water just wash me away, and like just like it just washed away so much, and I felt so white, like timeless and weightless, and this is a huge relief. But yeah, I feel like I retired a few days ago just from the patterns, because I needed it so bad. I was just like listening to this Earth Nouveau, or watching myself and listening to them and listening to y'all. Like I see all the tension I have within my body. I don't know, these experiences are really rewarding because I get to listen to myself, and I get to listen to y'all like multiple times. Just helps me see the things that I cannot see normally.
Oh, fantastic. That's exactly what we're here for, to show each other what we can't see, right?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
to expand what we can't see, and learn from these experiences when we're having these conversations with each other.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
great. It's wonderful.
So I think we can all agree. Yeah, Alfredo? We can all agree on I think retirement is a good thing. Let's all stay
It's a good
retired.
thing, but it's not even a thing.
I know.
So because you're really not retired, you're always engaged in doing something.
Mm.
Because imagine if the universe retired, then the universe would collapse. There would be no universe. There'll be no us.
I'd almost go
There'll
so
be no
far.
activity.
I'd almost go so far to say that the more we retire from this narrative, the more we can actually engage with life.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Alfredo is going. Now, thanks very much. Cheers, man. And also thanks for giving us your experience in the car right away. So that was good too.
Yeah. Thank you, Martina.
Cheers. You take care. Bye.
Later.
It's the living experience, Alfredo.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Got it all here. Fantastic. Okay, now the other thing is there's a word in retirement which is tired. And of course, it's a similar sort of energy, but I thought that's also been, it's nice to look at that too. So what are you actually tired of? What are you tired of? That you can then withdraw, retirer from French, retire from. What are we tired? You see, words are absolutely, I love words. The energy of words, it gives it all away. Yeah. If we start exploring that, it's just like one word. We're talking about one word for over an hour already.
Yeah, who created this word? Retired meant.
Yeah, I said earlier on, it's from the 16th century. It was first used, I wrote it down, in the sense of withdraw to a place of safety and seclusion. And from the French word retirer, retirer, re is back and tirer is draw. So draw back. And then of course, tired. What are we tired of? What are we tired of?
Adulting.
Adulting. Okay, cool. Throw in some stuff. Adulting. What else?
I'm tired of the word retirement.
Okay.
Because as I said, you really never retired, because when you come home, if you're working, you still got stuff to do when you come home.
Yeah.
You know, you go through the cycle, everyday cycle. Because if you don't take care of your home, you don't have a home to really enjoy living in. You got to do your laundry, you got to do your cooking, you got to do your cleaning, you got to do everything. So you're never retired.
Well, and let's add to this, because even if you don't do and just be, still not retired, right? Because stuff is not going through you. Because we're going to look at the time-space reality and the soul reality, which makes up the multidimensional, human that we are. That's the whole point.
Yeah, because you get stuck energy if you're not doing anything. And then you get tired. You get tired from that stuck energy, making you tired, making you feel tired. You're having the experience of actual feeling heavy. So when you're active doing something, you're able to get the energy moving out of you and flowing. Yep.
I like what Shova was saying earlier about, acting your age. Because, we're talking about engaging. And I think engaging with that innocent heart, right? That innocent childlike heart and play, right? I find, just so rewarding just to play with my dog, right? Because she's in that space of total, total now in the moment, and that space of unconditional love, and she's always ready to play. And that takes, kind of takes us out of this space of having to think about, oh, what do I have to do in my life, in my work, in my home, what do I have to make for dinner, kind of gets you into that space of just that childlike sense of play, which is an open space where, in that 0 point moment, really, where all things can occur.
And isn't that the gift of the animals? They have such a gift with that neutral observer status that they have. And they are the perfect example of, I don't think they're worried about retiring, right? They're just being, that just allowing themselves to be.
You know what I was thinking about earlier in the show was that we should retire when we're young, when we have all the energy in us
Mm.
to do the things we want to do. And then when we get to 65 or whatever age you retire at, then we engage in doing work. What do
Mhm.
you think?
Or never engage in doing work.
Right.
Just enjoy, and allow the enjoyment produce and create whatever it takes for us to feel safe and sound and all of that.
I love that concept, Lana, because
Hmm.
finally at 65, you kind of, well, I start to feel like maybe I've actually got something that I've learned by now. And all that time that could have spent before just having a whale of a time, enjoying life,
Yeah.
the wind, the ocean, it's just these experiences that we're so cut off from in a city often, and just really doing a sensational life in a way. And then at 65, you've got all that wealth there, and you say, yeah, I'm okay to sit in an office for a while with my feet up. Fabulous.
Yeah, but
Like
then
we
you don't
got,
have the energy to do the stuff anymore
that's
like you
okay.
did when you were 25.
That's
But you got,
okay. You've done it. You've got the memories. You can do something else.
yeah, well, that's my point is that let's retire while we're 25, do all the things we want to do. And then when we're 65, then we engage with working.
And also, let's just try and uncreate all the perception here that at 65 we have no energy.
Yeah.
Because if we have learned to play, to be joyful and happy, then our energy levels will, exponentialize. It will not be depleted as we're doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I don't know if any you guys got through the book now, but I think that one of the pages we were saying that we weren't supposed to die at the age of 80, 90 or whatever.
Yeah.
So turning everything upside down and inside out is definitely a great way of looking at it. I think
Well,
it's
look at the guys in Hollow Earth. Andrew said they lived to be 400,000 years.
absolutely,
Are they
absolutely.
ready to retire? I don't think they're ready to retire.
No, 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 no.
They just want to engage with life to do what heck they've been doing all this time, to continue on doing the same thing.
But yeah, it does mean that we have to engage with our bodies more. We have to understand the technology that we're actually wearing, carrying, and we have to retire what we're tired of, withdraw from all this outside validation, gratification bullshit, and become a recluse on a moment to moment basis, choosing withdrawal back into engagement, and find that balance between the two without her making one or the other more significant. Because every side has its value, and one can't exist without the other, as we know. So, retirement. We talked about what we're tired of, what to withdraw from, what to engage with. There's lots of stuff. What time, the gift of time, not uh, understanding the delusion of time, but still looking at it as a gift in this time space, reality we are functioning in. What else comes up for you guys? What else do you want to talk about? Are there any questions with regard to what we have discussed? Any energies that came up? Anything where you say, I can't retire, I can't withdraw?
And I think I see. I mean, I think I don't know what much Martina says she's kind of pulling back from doing the yoga and the work. I don't know what the rest of you do, but as a someone who works for myself as an energy healer, I see all kinds of people like myself, right, who continue to do their service work, right, into their 80s and 90s. I look at like Dolores Cannon and Rana Herman and, some of these older people who are holding space for us to open into the truth of who we are, right? And I mean, I can't see myself ever stopping doing
Absolutely.
that, right? On some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. And
So
that,
like kind of like that word retirement, it's like, well, I don't
I know.
think that even really applies to me in a way.
That's exactly why I brought it up, because I don't understand it either. Because changing something into something else, is not for me retirement. It's a transmutation, it's alchemy. Like the fact that I'm a healer, I will always be a healer, teacher, therapist. That will never change because that's what is joyful for me. It's just the way the delivery will change over time. But I can, like you said, Tanya, I can see myself, even if I can't move anymore, lying in bed and having people come to me, talk to me. Totally. That will never change. I will never shut up.
I think that that's the Dharma, right? That's our life path and life purpose. And once we connect with that, then there's joy, right? Joy and that like idea of being of service, right, to the rest of humanity. I think Andrew calls it being of service to the next 7 generations. Like, what are we teaching? How are we holding space?
And there's something else that just came to mind as you were talking there. It's like when you do something that is joyful for you, and that is resonant with your dharmic path, then you don't have to even think of waiting to do something. Like, for instance, holidays. This is one of the, I don't understand holidays either. I've never understood holidays. Not never, that's maybe not wrong. Maybe in the corporate I've understood. But now it's like, I don't need to go on a holiday in order to relax, because I can do this right now where I am. Is it nice to go, obviously, to go to a beach? Yes, yes, yes. But there's no such thing as when you do something you enjoy, you're choosing on a daily basis anyway. And then you don't feel like you are incarcerated into something where you have to break out for a week to go to spend time with other, that type of stuff. It's very similar. Holidays is almost similar to retirement in a way. Does that make any sense?
I think there is
Totally.
something for those of us who live in large cities, right? The sacred geometry cities that kind of are really draining, can be draining of energy. Like it's, for me, I do all I can to rejuvenate things, right? And on a daily basis, but getting out of town for me is getting out of the city, and very rejuvenating.
Yeah. I mean, I live in London, which is, as you know, is one of those sacred geometry cities. I've never felt like drained by London. Actually, in fact, the opposite.
Yeah.
I've understood it, but also one thing I have to say about London, you guys know, there is so much green space everywhere. The parks in London are absolutely amazing. I mean, I grew up in Austria next to a forest, so I've grew up in very rural area type thing, but I've never missed anything here because you have the possibilities to do. You just have to get out if you have to.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's a choice. And it's a mindset. It's how you set your mind. It's like my daughter keeps on saying she needs to go on holiday. She's freaking out. And I'm like, with this COVID, like, I don't understand. What do you mean? Oh, I need the sun. I said, well, go outside and lie in the grass. It's like, Anyway, that might be an age difference. Maybe it's a generation thing. I don't know. But also, now having said all that, what does she do at the moment? She works in the COVID side. Yeah, and she just worked for Wimbledon, shitty hours and crazy stress. Of course, she needs a holiday, right? Because she's doing something in order to earn money, because that's the beginning of her journey, and we've all been there, so I'm not judging that for one moment. It's just interesting when you hear that, because it makes you realize, oh, interesting, I don't require that. And that's nice when you can say that, I don't require that for me to be happy. Would I enjoy it? Of course I would enjoy it, but there's not much I don't enjoy. It's just who I am. I enjoy everything. Okay.
Amen, Martina.
Yeah. I also said I'm a very easygoing person, very I suppose
it's like enjoying your own company. So no matter what you do and where you are,
yeah,
you're having fun.
I am. I'm talking to myself and my
Yeah.
cats and everything. Absolutely. But I do enjoy having you guys on a Wednesday as well, and I absolutely love when I have my clients, and everything as well. So, but I can do both, and that gives me the choice. I don't feel like pushed into a corner where I have to get out, I have to retire, I have to do this or that. No. And you know what? It has not always been that way. Yeah. So often people say, well, it's easy for you. Well, it's not, it wasn't always easy, I worked very, very, very hard to get there. So I understand there's no judgment for anyone who is still in the, retirement phase and everything. We're all, every single experience counts. And we're all there to assist each other through whatever is required to have more ease with. Okay.
So what you're saying is that you retire on either side, whatever the moment is presenting to you in that moment.
So
sorta.
Explain that to me again. What do you mean with that?
So whether you're by yourself and you're enjoying the moment, and whatever the moment is presenting to you, you're enjoying it. So you're retiring into that moment. And when you're with company or clients, or you're on the Zoom here, you're having fun and you're in this realm of retirement.
Yeah. I think you said it in the very beginning. You, Lana, mentioned the being in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really, once you start recognizing that, and once you start everything what is, okay, so once you feel comfortable, let's say it that way, once you feel comfortable and joyful with everything that is in that moment, and that's probably the awakening, right? I would say.
That's retirement. That's retirement.
That's, you don't need to go anywhere. You don't need to be, you just, wherever you are right now.
Yeah.
This is where you need to be. And when you can say that from a heart space here, then that's great, no?
Well, that's it. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, when you're coming from that heart space, you are in retirement.
And that doesn't mean for one second that, I want to be here. I want to be here, that wherever you are right now, this is where you, and when you're in allowance of that, everything else comes through you. The synchronicities are starting. It's because of the vibration and the frequency and the harmony that you exude because of your signature frequency. I mean, it's universal law, right?
Yeah. When you're comfortable with your own self, you're in retirement. You're retired.
There is no fighting, there's no flighting, there's no striving. But that often gets misunderstood. Oh, well, you have no desire anymore. Well,
No,
yeah,
that's not the point. It's like being comfortable with everything, and so when you're in the moment, you're enjoying everything in the moment.
you see, there's a really interesting thing which I started looking at many years ago. I remember I was doing NLP at the time, and I was at the talk, and the lady stood up, and there was a talk about passion or something, and she stood up and she was very adamant. She said, "You know what? Passion is an ego value." And at the time, many years ago, I was like, "Oh, I'm so passionate about my work and passionate about helping people." When she said that, it just really ripped into me. It's like, passion is an ego value. I don't understand. What does that mean? And that started making sense a little bit, because when I understood what a martyr was and what an empath was, and how the connection is, because I was a martyr for many years. I mean, I was pushing myself onto everyone. You can do this because when you see possibilities for others, you just want to share them, without thinking, is it a kindness or not, which is a martyr. Now I can look at passion from a different perspective, because think of the passion of the Christ. Passion is associated to suffering. So passionate desire is always linked to suffering. And this is I've started looking at this actually today, because I'm working on this book for love, talking about relationships. Why are we attracted so passionately, desiring somebody else? Because there is an underlying suffering, because we are seeking something in the relationship with somebody else. Every relationship nurtures a weakness or a strength within us. Karmic resolution, yeah? When you meet partners and there's this passionate, got nothing to do with love, really. Yes, we think it's love, but it's actually a passionate desire that comes out of a suffering, that you need that partner, or innately you're drawn to that partner because you know that there is something that karmically needs to be resolved to lessen your suffering. Now, when you start thinking about passion in that way, passion of Christ, and God knows what else I looked up, thinking, oh, this is so interesting, because when you all of a sudden start losing your passion, I don't know if you guys had that, but many times you do something, you're so passionate, and all of a sudden it's ebbing off a little bit. It's like, oh shit, what am I going to do now? The more you heal your wounds, your suffering lessens, the passion lessens, the passionate desire almost starts disappearing. Because that's when you go into wisdom and knowingness. It's almost wisdom and knowingness doesn't have that passionate desire that we used to have when we came from the place of incompleteness. When you get into that wholeness, you just are. There just is. There's just a knowingness.
I agree with you.
And that's a weird place to be, because it's almost like, shit, what I'm going to do now? I'm no longer passionate about that. But when you start realizing what that actually means, like, wow, that's how far I've come. That's the knowingness. I just fucking know. It's almost
you've resolved the karma through the passion that you had to get there, to
resolve the karma through the passion, the suffering through the passion,
and then the wisdom and the understanding and the knowledge you gain as you went through the experience of that whole passionate experience.
Now, does the relationship change when you reach that level? Yeah. Talking about intimate relationships, will your partner, who probably hasn't gone the same route as you, recognize you as a different person and not know what to do with you anymore?
Probably would see you as a different person, but don't recognize what's happening.
Exactly. Probably once there's no, it's like, whoa, what is this now? What do I do with this? There's no passion anymore. No, because there's knowingness.
I guess that's why so many divorce happens, because they went through that passionate moment of resolving the karma, and then you come to the point where, what do I do now?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do
Now,
I do with you?
exactly. This is where then, and I don't like the word commitment necessarily because that's slightly incarcerating for me, you know. Commitment, there are other better words for that, you know, than committing to something. It's more like once you're on this dharmic path together, you have to start functioning from a different place, you know. There's no longer that, and lots of people perceive that as, oh, we've lost the lust, the love, you know. But none of that is really true, because the love is the intricate fabric of all of that to even happen. Love's got fuck all to do with this. Love allows it to happen, to have this experience, right?
So it's like the illusion of the passion dies and love grows.
It's the healing
Love
has
grows
taken
out of
place.
that.
And then it comes down to the acknowledgement of, let's acknowledge this now. So the dharmic, we are karmically resolved. Is our dharmic path, are we walking on that dharmic path together? Is there still something to create together from a different place than passionate desire, which doesn't make it less joyful?
You
Which
made me
makes
think of something here just now. So when people go through that passionate part and it's over and you resolve your karma, and you're saying, do we go down that dharmic path? Well, maybe your partner has more karmic resolution to deal with other people in a similar situation, needs to be remarried to someone else, or be living with someone else to work out another similar situation with another person, because this lifetime we have to remember we are resolving the most amount of karma. So we're so busy resolving karma, so we have to move from one individual to the next until, depending on how much karma we still have to resolve. So could it be that is why we see so many people in and out of relationship so quickly? Because they're trying to wrap everything up as fast as possible, because we only have such a short window of a lifespan of 75 years or so. So how much karma can we resolve while we're in this 75-year period? Yeah.
it's a mix of things, of all of that, what you just said.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, people have a misperception of what is going on and leave, you know, just because they think they need another partner. But those are the ones that then get themselves into the same sort of situation. They attract the same kind of partner they've actually had, because the karmic resolution has actually not taken place yet, you know. So, but it requires a little bit of an understanding of what's actually going on beyond this time-space reality, you know,
Yeah.
understanding, you know, the soul contracts a little bit more and all of that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, there was something else I was going to say to that. I just can't remember now.
But that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Yeah. So yes, that's what I was going to say. Marriage came to mind. Marriage is another word and energy we can look at some stage, because marriage is again, just like love, just like retirement, is totally misidentified. You know, what does it actually mean? And can you have a marriage once you have surpassed the passionate desire? Once you, is this where the commitment comes in, where you then can start reigniting it on a different, you know, level?
Right. Don't these things come in layers also? Right. Well, when you're first in a relationship, everything is really passionate and hot and heavy, and then that kind of cools down, and you're resolving karma together. And I mean, I think of it also in my own like journey of awakening and enlightenment, where a number of years ago, right, and I started waking up and started like getting this knowingness, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm so enlightened, I feel great, I have this knowingness, and no one around me seems to have this knowingness. And then all of a sudden you get like a total smackdown because you have to go through a whole nother layer of energetic processing, right? Whether it's old woundings from past lifetime or from childhood. And then you get through that gauntlet and you're like, oh yeah, I've done it. I'm so enlightened again. And then, and I find that in relationship too, right? Where you kind of walk this path together and then you come apart and walk back together and come apart, right? When you're learning something or working on a project, or I mean, it can be anything really, building a garden, or raising a small animal together. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
That
Speaking of intimate relationships, and as Martina was speaking about passion and how passion lessens as you become more aware, I have sense as well in my arousal in sacred spaces of feeling that choice, feeling that arousing, and then choosing to give my energy to Gaia. So having an intimate relationship with her. And that moment of knowing I'm making love to existence. I'm giving birth to I am making love to Gaia. I'm choosing to give it to her. And I also like men as well. It's not to say that
just don't tell your husband you're cheating on him with Gaia. Right? Not gonna take it really
I'm not in partnership, but I've been thinking he's probably already making love with Gaia as well.
Well, good luck to that, to find one of them. Let me know where they are. I want one too. Fantastic.
Yes.
Right. But this is again another word, another energy, sexualness. Definition. Not sexuality, not sex, not copulation. But look at sexualness. Look at the dragon.
Yes.
Of the dragon. But like I think a penis and a vagina for every single chakra, right?
Yes.
Now we have that too. Yeah.
Yes.
So of course we can make love to all sorts of things, but it's a new context. We have to read about. We have to learn. We obviously resonate with, and then a desire becomes a different definition. So passionate desire, that what we in this narrative talk about, is the result of the suffering, to release the suffering. You're talking about a different passion. Yeah. I don't even know we can call it that passion, because we need to call it something else. Because it's so much more than that. It's communion. It's communion and union with another, Yeah.
It's a passion, communion and union.
Yes, when this one time recently when I experienced that, I saw Gaia crowned. She had a crown right now. I thought, oh, Mother, you have been crowned. What a beautiful thing.
And you don't have an issue making love to your mother?
No, God would
reaction to that too,
Yes. Oh, well, I guess, yeah, like no, I don't. I think of her as no, yeah, but good question.
Yeah. Well, that's the unlimited point of view. This is where we all want to go. New kind of passion. So what can we call that? Because it's not passion. What is it? What do we call that? That union and communion with everything on that level. What can we call that? Well, there is the word sexualness for me, but there's more than that. I think we need a new word for that.
There's probably no word yet for that in our vocabulary, in the 26-letter English alphabet.
What do you think of the word synthesis? We are now
Synthesis, very nice
synthesis.
word. Symbiosis. Synthesis, nice. Synthesis
Mm-hmm.
of creation, yeah, of
Each
being.
one of us is synthesizing the
I love that. That's a very
desdoblamiento. Desdoblamiento in English means unfolding of,
synthesis
of,
of being.
of what happened to all of you. Wow, it's powerful. I love it.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's like having a symbiotic relationship, engage with the earth. So yeah, because she gave birth to the skin suit technology, sorta, the actual uh, matter that make up the body.
All the elements, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And how did the earth create the bubble for every individual? It created a spark of itself. That's what the planet does, right? In order
Mm-hmm.
for us to live on it, it creates a bubble of reality specifically for every single one of us to work with us. It's almost like the placenta,
Mm-hmm.
you know, together.
And don't forget the dragons that
Well,
she
that
give
comes
life to.
that's exactly from the dragon teachings,
Yeah.
where because I don't understand, only 17% of people have dragon energy. For me, it's like everybody has it. Everybody has it to probably lesser and more extent, but it's to look at it, that teaching is just beautiful because it is the next level.
Yeah. Well, I think what Andrew was trying by saying is each one of us has a dragon connected to us. But I think with the 17% that you're talking about is that their actual dragon that the planet give life to are born into human skin suit technology, such as Bruce Lee would have.
Yeah.
I think that's the 17%. They're actual dragons themselves.
Right.
But we, apart from the 17, have a dragon connected to us, if I understand it correctly.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I could be wrong in my explanation, but
No,
that's what
I think pretty
I'm
much what the
getting from
teacher
it.
says. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful, hey?
I mean, I have memories of, I mean, I work with dragons. I have a couple that I work with, one who's like a teacher and one who's like a compatriot, where we go on missions together. But I also have memories of being a dragon.
Mm. What did you do when you were a dragon?
Well, one of the memories is I have of being devoured by another dragon. And it was, I mean, you would think what? But it was a glorious experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what you're probably experiencing, I'm thinking as you're saying it, is that you're probably one of the 17% that is an actual dragon. So your sentient is a dragon from the planet, possibly this planet, and what your experience or your memory is being eaten by another dragon is that at one point the Earth's dragons were kicked off of Earth. So you might have been in that group that got kicked off and got harmed. Um, and that's your memory from that time. Does that
Yeah,
help? Does that
I
make
don't know
sense?
exactly about that, but yeah, I do have that memory.
Yeah, because all of Earth's dragon at one point were kicked off of Earth because they wanted to take over the Earth. Um, so you could have been part of that percentage that got kicked off and then got uh, attacked by dragons that came from different planets, because there were dragons that came here from different planets as well.
And isn't that when Earth was lowering her density, dropping
Yeah,
in density, so that
yeah,
the dragons couldn't hold that lower frequency, so now they're in the etheric realm?
Well, Earth was the seventh dimensional galactic seed planet originally, and then her because she went through all those different times of being attacked, her sentient density dropped with the type of beings that were living on the planet, because there were lower dimensional beings that were here. So that caused the dimensional level that she was at to drop. And we have to remember also that at that time, Earth was the size of Jupiter. It was really large. And then Earth became smaller and smaller and smaller because of the density.
So I guess I was retired by another
And
dragon.
I was just about to say, you chose to be retired, eaten by another dragon. Love it. Love it. He got tired of you, so he just gobbled you up. I love it.
So what I could say to you, welcome back, welcome home.
Yes, it's good to have you back.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Let us
Now
at Art Nouveau say welcome, Tanya, for being
Acquired
back.
skills.
Fantastic. Oh, fabulous. Okay, my ladies. Well, have we got anything else that we want to contribute to this lovely conversation? We've gone from retirement into sexualness, into dragons, into the usual thing, just like whoosh
Into illusions. Don't forget illusions. We cover illusions.
everything. I can't even remember what we've done. Are we ready to retire?
Thank you, Martina.
For today? Yes.
Thank you.
In this moment, yes.
For this moment, yes. Well, thank you so much, guys. And
great conversation.
Yes, as usual, I'm gonna post it, and yeah, I see an don't see it. Okay, okay, there is an offer out there. I'm going to be away next week, Wednesday, and the girls are busy. So if any one of you wants to run the show on Wednesday, send me a PM, and you can do that. Yeah, we just need somebody to host it, and you just do whatever we're doing here, and you can pick and choose your topic, and you can just have some fun. Yeah, and if you don't have the what's it called, the Zoom, the paid version of it, and you need it, then I can give you my password, and I'm sure that would work. Yeah, think about it.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you, Martina. Thanks, girls.
Contributions. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.